Hey guys, it's Z here, and today we're going to be doing the first part of what if Gohan went Super Saiyan against Vegeta. I know I've been gone for a while, but I've decided to reduce the load on myself to improve consistency. I don't just want to make videos and what ifs for you guys then just leave for a long time. I will try and keep up with this schedule to my utmost ability. There's something else I want to say in the intro, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Winter time, all the time, ooh, yeah. Look at the way that I move, swag, disrespectful and I'm rude, okay. I had cocaine in the school.
In this what if, it starts with the fight between Nappa, Vegeta and the Z Fighters. Piccolo saves Gohan from the blast from Nappa like in canon, but this is where things begin to change. Gohan is filled with sadness and grief. He drops to one knee while looking at Piccolo's lifeless body. He looks back up to meet Nappa's menacing eyes. He stands back up and his very own eyes flash a light blue colour. He clenches his fist and says, "You'll pay for that!" Nappa laughs maniacally and says, Will I? Will I really?" Gohan is filled with rage. While Vegeta is just observing the fight, he notices his scouter starts acting up. He stands up and says, 5,000 from Kakarot's son! Gohan's clothes start to flow and an outburst of wind is felt from Gohan's general location. Vegeta then notices the power level promptly raised past 10,000. Vegeta thinks, what? This can't be possible. Nappa says, "A little power up won't hurt me." Vegeta just doesn't believe it and takes off his scouter. He looks at it in disgust and says, "Broken scouter." He throws it onto the ground and it breaks. Gohan's hair flashes golden and this catches both Vegeta and Nappa's eyes. The rocks around Gohan floats and the ground below him cracks under the pressure. Nappa laughs and says, "Be gone." He raises one arm and launches a full power energy wave. The energy wave beams across the battlefield and into Gohan. A cluster of smoke is created and Nappa thinks that the job is done. Vegeta thinks so too. They can't sense power levels, so they don't know that Gohan's power hasn't stopped increasing. The smoke is quickly blown away by Gohan's raging aura. Gohan lets out a large roar and the golden aura envelops his body. His hair glows a bright gold and his eyes go a light blue. His power level is now a whopping 140,000. His aura is massive and blazing. Nappa says, "So what? You turned blonde and got a little stronger. Let's see if you can handle this." His muscles puff up and he opens his mouth wide. He launches a massive mouth beam that cracks and destroys the ground in the way for the beam. Even Vegeta's hair from far across the battlefield flows from the power of the mouth beam. Gohan seems unfazed by the attack and raises his hand. He takes the blast head on and slides back a meter before he starts walking forwards. The back of Nappa's mouth starts bleeding and he falls back a few steps. Gohan makes 10 strong steps forward then lets the beam go right past him. It lands in a rock pile and causes a massive explosion. Gohan doesn't move and says, "You'll die!" He beams at Nappa and punches him across the face. He flies back and lands into another pile of rocks that quickly turn to orange rubble. Gohan then launches a massive two-hand energy wave. The energy beam hurls and spins towards Nappa. The explosion is literally insane in size. Nappa is blown to bits and just cannot be seen within the smoking rubble. Gohan turns back to Vegeta with his cold blue eyes and golden hair. Vegeta says in fear and anger, "How dare you look at me?" He flies off to Gohan but is kicked away by Goku using Kaioken. He lands gracefully into the ground and Gohan says, "Die!" Goku looks in confusion and says, "What's up with you?" Gohan says, "I don't know, but I know I'm stronger now and I know I can help." Goku sighs and says, "Alright son, let's see if you can keep up." Vegeta gets up and dusts off his strong armor. He says, "How dare you low class scum dirty up my armor? You will pay for what you've done today with you and your son's lives." Goku says, "That's not gonna happen, you're not killing anyone today." His body engulfs in a red aura and he soars across the sky towards Vegeta. Gohan flies at Vegeta and is much faster than Goku. He lands a punch to his gut and makes Vegeta spit blood. Goku dives down and kicks him to the ground. Vegeta follows by launching a quick ki blast to disorientate Goku, but Gohan pulls him out of the ground vigorously and throws him across the plains. Gohan launches a fast one-hand energy wave that hits Vegeta cleanly. He flies into the ground and is heavily injured. Goku says, "Good job, son." His red aura dissipates and he quickly rushes to Krillin's aid. He gives him a senzu bean and says, "Krillin, eat this." He eats it and his power replenishes. He then turns back to see Gohan struggling to stay in form. He is visibly struggling while looking down at the ground. His aura dies down a little bit, then he returns to his base form. He drops to his knees and Gohan says, "I wanna fight." He punches the ground, but Goku replies calmly and says, "It's fine, you don't have to. It's my job to win this fight and to avenge Piccolo." He walks out into the battlefield and Krillin helps Gohan up. Gohan is still pretty energetic, it's just that him sustaining Super Saiyan is far too difficult for him right now. Goku then continues his fight with Vegeta. It happens similar to in canon and we pick back up when Vegeta has just lost a beam struggle with his Gallic gun. He struggles on the ground and then creates the fake moon. It soars into the sky, then beams out wide. Gohan turns back to glance upon the moon while flying away with Krillin and stops flying. Krillin stops about 10 meters forward and slowly flies back to Gohan. He says, "What's wrong?" Gohan doesn't reply to Krillin and just continues gazing at the moon. Across the plains, Vegeta is transforming too. He fully transforms and laughs. He says, "It's over, Kakarot. You thought you defeated me." Gohan then fully transforms and runs towards a massive Vegeta in the distance, the first thing he sees. Goku soars past the slam from Vegeta using Kaioken ×3 but then gets grabbed mid-air. As soon as Vegeta does this, he is slammed from the side. Vegeta falls back and drops Goku. Gohan launches a mouth beam at Vegeta but Vegeta blocks with ease and destroys it. Gohan is surprised and takes a step back, even in his Oozaru, but this quickly subsides and he runs back towards Vegeta. He slams into him but Vegeta takes a mere step back and punches Gohan into the air. He launches his own mouth beam and greatly injures him with the blast. Gohan soars from the sky and thumps into the floor. Vegeta laughs once he does this and says, "Look at you, you stand no chance now." He beams towards Goku and grabs him with both hands. He squeezes and Goku screams in agony from the pain. Gohan gazes up and sees this. His human thoughts and rage overpowers him. He has outlined the enemy and is infuriated. He stands up and clenches his fist. His power level starts to skyrocket from the rage and his aura returns. His power level is at crazy high levels right now. His fur starts to ragingly flow around. He lets out a vehement roar and his fur switches to a pristine golden colour. Goku and Vegeta hear this while Goku feels the collective of power coming from his direction. Krillin, watching from afar, is astounded. Gohan's power level is now 1.4 million. Gohan is above even that of second transformation Frieza at this point. Gohan beams off towards Vegeta and lands a punch to his face. He punches him through a mass of rocks and Goku charges a Kamehameha. Gohan charges a mouth beam. They both let off these vigorous attacks and they combine to form a slightly green-yellow beam. The attack hits Vegeta and literally just shreds him. He is just destroyed and reverts to his human form once it happens. The fake moon above is literally keeping him alive in a weird form. He still has a snout and some muscle mass and is just kind of stuck in his form. It's almost as if his body is trying to transform but just can't. Goku drops down to Vegeta and Gohan's body steams off. His fur returns to normal and he falls through a pile of rocks onto the ground. Goku raises his hand but just can't get himself to kill him. Yajirobe then comes running out of nowhere and tries to stab his sword into him but Goku zooms forward and blocks him. He drops to one knee while panting and says, "Stop, please stop, he's learned his lesson." Yajirobe says, "What do you mean? Move out of the way." He pushes Goku and he can't do anything but fall over onto his side. Yajirobe goes in to stab him but Goku raises his hand and launches a ki blast at the sword. It breaks and Yajirobe gets startled. Goku says, "Don't." Yajirobe scoffs and takes some steps away in reaction. Goku, Gohan and Vegeta are then put into healing. Gohan starts to heal much faster than Goku since he was just suffering from overexertion and not actual physical injury. The group are closely watching Vegeta and keeping him asleep so he won't react aggressively, however he does wake up eventually. Once he wakes up, he rips the different things from his body off. He looks and sees Gohan. He gets very scared by the kid's power and launches a ki blast. Gohan blocks and Goku instantly stands up. Bulma runs in to see the scene and Gohan says, "Leave." He clenches his fists and his hair starts flowing from his rage. Vegeta takes a step back and says, "I'll be back." He turns and breaks through the window behind him. He lands next to his attack ball and sees several people next to it. He scoffs and dives down. He lands in front of everyone and opens the door, much to everyone's surprise. One person says, "Hey, this is ours." He turns and says, "Be quiet, scum." He launches a ki blast and just kills the guy on sight. He gets in the attack ball and blasts off into the sky. The rest of the people run away in fear of what's actually going on. After all of the talking goes on about the Dragon Balls, Bulma still gets Kami's spaceship and Gohan and Krillin are set to go to Namek. Gohan is a much better option now since Goku knows he is the strongest they've got and has a lot of potential. Gohan, after his Zenkai, has already rose his power level to 3,500. This isn't anywhere near enough power to combat any of the high-ranking Frieza soldiers. Some are people such as Zarbon, Dodoria or the Ginyu Force. Once they arrive, however, Gohan is able to skyrocket his power level to 10,000, well above even Goku's power level from before. This makes him have a 500,000 power level when using Super Saiyan. He was only able to bring out Super Saiyan a few times in the spaceship and he can't fully control it yet. When they meet the Frieza soldiers outside of the spaceship, Krillin gets ready to fight and so does Gohan. They only read power levels that are extremely low and the soldiers just laugh at them. However, these aren't their true levels of power. hour, Gohan raises his power level to about 4,000 and blitzes towards one soldier. He breaks his head with a knee, then soars around speedily. This scares the soldiers. Krillin then beams off to a soldier and punches him extremely hard. He then throws him up and Gohan slams him into the ground. For the last soldier, Krillin just blurs behind him and neck chops him. He thumps to the floor and they hide the bodies of the soldiers. Next we're going to cover Gohan and Krillin watching Dodoria and Zarbon. Once Dodoria is about to kill Dende after the onslaught, Gohan flies right into the scene. Gohan's eyes momentarily glow blue and he kicks Dodoria away. He flies back into a pile of rocks and Krillin says, "Go!" Gohan flies away and Krillin does too. Dodoria is ordered to chase them and he does so. Gohan is flying much further forward than Krillin and turns to notice such. He launches an energy wave right in Dodoria's face and disorientates him. He then launches a bunch of ki blasts. He shouts, "Run!" He beams away and Krillin dives down behind a bunch of rocks far from the scene. They also lower their power level to terribly low levels so they won't be found. Dodoria looks around hastily and sees nothing. He turns back and is confronted by Vegeta. Vegeta's new power level is 25,000 since he got injured more greatly in the fight before. The whole fight goes on similarly and Dodoria is defeated. Krillin and Dende leave for Guru and Gohan is left to protect himself. Gohan is unable to go Super Saiyan since he can get sensed and just hopes Krillin gets back quickly. When I mean sensed, I mean detected by the scouters. Krillin gets his potential unlocked and gets back to the group. He actually attracts Vegeta because of his power level increasing though. Gohan goes to get the Dragon Ball from where Vegeta hid it and makes his way back. Zarbon and Vegeta have a fight in front of Krillin and Bulma and Vegeta manages to win the fight through his Zenkai. When Vegeta realizes the Dragon Ball is gone, he races back for Krillin and Gohan. Frieza, after noticing the death of Zarbon, orders the Ginyu Force to arrive and they begin their journey to Namek. Vegeta waits out to detect Gohan and Krillin so he can retrieve the last Dragon Ball. Gohan is brought to Guru and his potential is unlocked. Now his power level rises to astronomical levels, 55,000. This makes him able to combat even some of the Ginyu Force. This means him with Super Saiyan gives him a 2.75 million power level. This is a crazy high power level. The Ginyu Force arrive after Vegeta makes his theory about him having to have the Dragon Balls, but Captain Ginyu takes the Dragon Balls and leaves the rest of the Ginyu Force to face the group. Gohan launches a ki blast, but Goldo stops time and steps out of the way of the attack. However, he just gets blown away by a one-hand energy wave from Gohan. The smoke dies down and blows apart to reveal a dead Goldo. Recoome is up next and Vegeta wants to face him alone. Gohan says, "Let me fight." Vegeta says, "Stay back, you're not strong enough." Gohan says, "Yes I am, I might even be stronger than you." Vegeta turns to him and laughs. He says, "Step down, kid." Gohan reveals all of his power and his massive 55,000 power level. We don't know how strong Zarbon's transformation is, so it's pretty hard to scale how strong Vegeta has gotten. From different sources, I assume Zarbon's transformation power level ranges from 30,000 to 48,000. I will assume his power level is a little lower at 38,000. Vegeta's power level will be 40,000 now. I just don't believe Vegeta just got a monstrous Zenkai after the fight with Zarbon. This makes Gohan the strongest of them by a large margin. Vegeta detects his monstrous ki and realizes it might even surpass his own. He swallows his pride and says, "Fine." So that will conclude the first part of what if Gohan went Super Saiyan against Vegeta. Thanks for all the support even though I wasn't uploading and hopefully I'll be back for good now. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.